Good evening and welcome to the rest of the news. We have a very special program today for you, and our special guest is Byron Fisher. Yes. And Byron is the executive director of the Jefferson County Republican Party. So he's going to tell us about the caucus. You know, we're going to be having a caucus here in Jefferson, in all of Kentucky, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The 5th of March, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And it's from 10 to 4 p.m.
10 to 4, yes.
And now I've never been to a caucus. You told me that there was a caucus in Kentucky a while back.
Yes, 1984 was the last time we had a caucus here. And I've never been to a caucus either. But it is definitely going to be a bit of a learning experience for all of our Kentucky Republican voters. And it's going to be a very uniquely Kentucky caucus. I don't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really call it like the Iowa caucus. It won't be like an Iowa caucus. It's probably closer to the Kansas caucus in that, you know, we have an absentee ballot program for military personnel and people who are in nursing homes.
I see.
If you're over the age of 70 or you're going to be out of town. So the absentee ballot program is key because the Iowa caucus does not provide for that. And, you know, we're very proud of the fact that we're also the first caucus to ever provide for military personnel who are active duty. That is, you know, something that we felt was very important. And, so that they can have a voice in the process. So it's very much like the Kansas caucus in that it's not going to be like, you know, in Iowa, everybody meets at 7 p.m. in their precinct, and you have, you know, you would have Rubio supporters in the kitchen and Trump supporters in the bathroom, and, you know, so on and so forth. Yeah. And then they would just count people, and they'd give speeches, and they'd do things. Here it's going to be a little different. It's going to be very much like a primary election. In that, you know, a voter, any Republican voter can come in to their location, they will show their ID, they will sign a little book to say they were there, then they will be given a ballot, but they can then go through an area where there will be tables set up from different organizations. You know, we'll have college Republicans and young Republicans. We'll have so-and-so for state house in that area, or state senate. Candidates, and then candidates for president can also, you know, they are allowed to set up tables there and send representatives to observe and to talk to voters and to pass out literature and do that kind of thing. And, you know.
Well, tell me, is there a charge for those tables?
No, there's not.
Really?
Yeah, so we have 9 locations in Jefferson County. And at every location, you know, we hope to have groups like the Right to Life or groups like yours come out and send representatives and be represented and talk to voters.
Oh, really?
Yes, and preferably we'd let the actual politicking for candidates come from the campaigns, but you know, it is a good opportunity for many of our groups like the Right to Life and like yours and others to get to really meet new voters, new Republicans who they come and they vote in the primaries and stuff, but we never get to actually touch them. We never get to talk to them.
Right.
And I think that's very valuable.
Well,
and,
that's great.
You know, so.
You know, I think this is tremendous because I know over the years it seems like the candidates have already essentially been picked before Kentucky has a chance to vote on it.
Yeah.
So now, here it is coming in March, let's see, March 9th, that's
March the 5th.
March the 5th.
Yes.
That's a Saturday, isn't it?
Yes, Saturday, March the 5th, from 10 to 4.
Yeah, okay, I got that. Yeah. Okay, so, but the thing is, our listeners that want to vote for the Republican presidential candidate of their choice, they have to show up at this meeting.
Yes, so there are 9 locations throughout Jefferson County, and those have been assigned based on your precinct and legislative district, and those locations are, so I'm going to try to remember these, the Trinity Family Life Center in the west end of Louisville, Greenwood Elementary in the southwestern part of Louisville, Okolona Elementary in the Fairdale and Fern Creek region, Iroquois High School in the south and south central region, Evangel World Prayer Center in the southeastern region, U of L Shelby campus for kind of that, I would say, Crescent Hill, but also stretching to, to the east end. Ramada Plaza over on Bluegrass Parkway by Southeast Christian Church. That is also a location. And Zachary Taylor Elementary. They'll be handling like the Prospect, the east end part of there. And so those are 9 locations. And I think Seneca High School handles the very center of the city. So the Highlands to Hikes Point and in between.
Okay.
So 9 locations, and anyone who wants to find out which location can go to rpk.org/caucus. It's rpk.org/caucus, CAUCUS, and you scroll down. There's a button that says Where, and has a question mark, Where, and you will go there, and you can type in your first name, last name, zip code, and your month and day. So like I was born on September 24th, so type in September 24th of your birth, and it will tell you your exact location based on the address for which you're registered to vote.
Oh, great. So you don't really have to know your precinct.
Yeah, you don't. I guess it helps because what we've done is the state executive committee has put out a call to caucus, and in that document it divides those locations, and it says, Iroquois High School has these precincts, and such and such location has these precincts. So you can go, and if you know your precinct, you can go in and find it. But oftentimes people struggle with where they are registered to vote and where they live now, because sometimes that is different. People move and they forget to change the registration, and so just to be extra sure as to where you're supposed to vote, it's a good idea to use that tool, rpk.org/caucus.
That is great. So I had the list of precincts, and I had to look up my precinct.
Yeah.
But I got that. So this is good. You just go to RPK, which stands for Republican Party of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
RPK.
That's right.
.org and /caucus, CAUCUS, and then you just have to put in your names.
Your name, zip code, and your first, like the date, and so your date of birth except for the year. And if you click on Where, it'll give you the prompting to do that.
Okay, so really that is, somebody went to a lot of trouble to get that.
Yeah, it was the Republican Party of Kentucky, they set it all up, and they have, they requested the voter roll from the Secretary of State, and they uploaded it all, so it's a tremendous effort on their part. But.
Wow, I would say so. There must be 3 million, well, maybe Republicans, only a couple, 1 or 2 million.
Yeah, there's about 1.3 million registered Republicans.
In Kentucky.
Yeah.
So, man, that was a lot of work to get that all together. Okay, now this is not the same thing as the convention that determines who the delegates are going to be.
That's right. So in the past, what we've always had is we've had a mass convention at the county level.
Yeah.
Except in Jefferson County, where we've had more of precinct conventions and legislative district caucuses. But we would have some sort of mass convention, and then your county convention, and then a district convention, and then a state convention.
Yeah.
And at the district convention, you would elect your 3 delegates and 3 alternates to the Republican National Convention. And at the state convention, you would elect your state at large delegates and alternates. This year, that number is 25 delegates and 25 alternates. So we've always had that, but we've also had a primary. Now, the primary was the mechanism by which Republican voters bound the delegates on the first ballot. So this year, instead of a primary, the caucus will be the mechanism by which those voters will bind the delegates on the first ballot. But then after that, the actual choosing of delegates begins. And so what's going to happen is in every county, there will be a county mass meeting. except in Jefferson County, we will have legislative district mass meetings, and they will elect delegates to the district convention and the state convention, and then the process will be the same as it used to be from there. So it's actually really, it is the same process, basically. The only difference is this year we are not re-electing or electing new party leadership. We have moved that process into the year after the presidential election. So, your county chairman, vice chairman, etc., your district chairman, etc., and your state chairman, etc., will all be elected in 2017.
Okay. The thing is, you got to be there on Saturday, March 5th of this year. So
That's right.
So it's a little over a month away, probably.
Yeah, just about 5 weeks away, and it's really we're doing a lot of planning over at headquarters and getting ready. I'm very thankful that February has 29 days this year.
29 days.
Yes, we need every bit of time we can get to get everything ready, and but we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a proud day for the Republican Party here. Of course, we've had a lot of proud days lately, and
that's right.
So, but I think it's going to be a really good day for us to come out and say that we're relevant and express our voice. And I think
because usually when Kentucky gets around to voting for the Republican presidential candidate, it's all over.
That's right. Yeah.
So now this time we get to actually go out and have an important role in picking the Republican candidate for president.
Yeah, and I think that's it's really a good thing for Kentuckians. Kentuckians sometimes we like to have a say in things.
Yes.
And so we're very proud of the things that we have, like the Derby and things like that. And we're very proud to have a senator running for president. Very proud to have a senator who's the majority leader and now a governor. So I think this is really something on that order of being able to really be relevant,
Yeah, exactly. So I think I would encourage our listeners to get out and vote on Saturday, March 5th.
Yes.
And the thing is to go to this website, rpk.org/caucus. RPK, Republican Party of Kentucky, .org//caucus.
Yes, and I would also add that anybody who calls our office, the number is 584-7111. That's 584-7111. Anyone who calls our office, they can talk to me. I will gladly go through it with them, answer all their questions, find out where they need to vote. If I don't answer, I'm probably on the phone with somebody else. So just leave a message and I'll call you right back. And I think it's also important, Dr. Simon, to mention the absentee ballot program. We have until February the 19th to submit an application for that absentee ballot. And I would encourage anyone who is able to do that, to do that.
Yeah.
Because, I have my great-grandparents are in their 80s, and I had them submit an absentee ballot form. They wanted to vote in person, but I said, we can't promise it's not going to snow on March the 5th. And so I want to make sure that anybody who has that opportunity to take advantage of that does, because this was the first caucus to ever have an absentee ballot. We led the way.
Really?
Yes, and other states are kind of following us on that, and so it's very, very exciting.
Now, did you say you had to be over 70 to...
Yeah, if you are confined to a nursing home or a facility, if you are in the military, active duty, and you're stationed outside of the county which you're registered, if you are 70 years of age or older on caucus day, March the 5th, if you are a college student who is attending university outside of the county in which they're registered, all of those things are reasons to get an absentee ballot, and or if you'll be out of town, And so
being out of town would be enough reason to.
Yeah, and a
you
lot
don't
of
have
people,
to be 70. You just say, "Oh, I'm going to be in Florida that day" or something.
Yes, like Eileen.